Welcome to the Chop Seat, where Braves country meets the big leagues. Your host Vic is here to break down everything from truest part to the top of the standings across the league. From walk-offs to wild trades, this is your seat for everything baseball, but a heavy dose of chop. So grab your glove and settle in, because the Chop Seat is open.
Welcome to the Chop Seat, your favorite place for Braves baseball and I guess the rest of the league for today, because today is Monday, August 3rd. It is currently 6:23 p.m. Eastern. That means the MLB trade deadline has approached us already. We are already done with trades. Unless something comes in last minute, maybe a deal was made and it wasn't announced. And we'll get wind of that pretty soon. There were a few buzzer beaters that came in after 6, maybe like 6:05, 6:07. Actually, it says Alex Anthopoulos will speak to the media in about 5 minutes. That's going to be interesting to see his point of view. This episode, we're just going to talk the trades, all the trades that went down. It was crazy. A lot of trades went down. It all started Friday night. I think it started Friday night after I recorded the comeback episode for the Chop Seat after our brief hiatus. Braves made a move, couple moves there. They got a couple players in. We had the big headliner, Tarek Skubal, going to, of course, the Los Angeles Dodgers. We're going to talk about that. And yeah, after Friday night, it was just a flurry of trades especially today. Especially today was a flurry of trades last night and today. A lot of moves. A lot of moves were made. We're going to see how we grade all those moves, all those teams that made those moves. We're going to see how we grade them out. We're going to grade them out on the spot, honestly. We're going to go kind of in chronological order of how all the trades went down. I literally got my sheets here, bro. Got a whole bunch of sheets. If you're looking at the video version, I was writing it down manually, old school version. As every trade went down, I was writing who was being moved around. Before we get into it, I think I'm okay with the moves that the Braves made. We could have done more, obviously. I feel like we can always do more. But it is what it is. You know, Alex Anthopoulos is not going to go for the big fish. He's not going to make those kind of moves. He's going to make those low-key moves that you never thought of. Those guys that some people call it bargain bin. I'm not going to call it that. It's just like one of those underdog moves, bro. Like, you weren't thinking of that one, except for maybe Lane Thomas. Lane Thomas, we've been saying he might have been a good fit since he was with the Nationals. That was a few years ago. Now it finally happened. He's finally an Atlanta Brave. But besides that, every other move, I mean, it's like you don't think about it. But Anthopoulos thinks outside the box, keeps everything close to the vest. Nothing leaks until the trade is done. And that's how it went down. There was rumors about the Braves trying to trade for Jacob deGrom. Rumor has it that deGrom didn't want to waive his no-trade clause. He wanted to stay in Texas, and that's how it's going down. He was not moved, so he will remain in Texas. Probably doesn't want to pay some crazy amount of taxes going to another state. So, hey, maybe that has to do with it. It's sometimes all about the money. Maybe that's why he decided to stay. He didn't want to get moved. Or maybe for family reasons, who knows? But anyways, that is that. We're going to go into our first segment. You know what? Yeah, let's do our first segment. We're going to talk about all the Braves moves, and then we talk about, we'll throw them all in. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I decide to do. But let's head into our first segment. Wrong button. Let's head into our first segment now.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes, where we catch up with the action when it comes down to the Atlanta Braves. Previous series for the Braves. Remember, I told you guys that the Braves had won the first two games Thursday and Friday against the Washington Nationals. They end up taking the other 2 games. They end up having a 4-game sweep against the Washington Nationals. 4-game vacuum. That's what we're going to call it, because they left nothing out there. They vacuumed everything up. Forget the brooms. Bring out the vacuum. 4-game vacuum for the Atlanta Braves against the Washington Nationals. That might have put them over the edge to become sellers out there in D.C. That might have been the final straw for them, because they did get rid of a few solid players. But yeah, that's how the series went down. Martin Perez had a phenomenal start. He had a no-hitter through, I think it was 6 2/3. He went 7 innings in that ball game. He wasn't even scheduled to start. It was Reynaldo Lopez. He was scratched before the game. I think it was some knee inflammation. He's now on the IL. I think he's due to come off of it maybe the 15th of August or the 14th, I think I saw. I should have looked this up before starting to record, but yeah, around there. So, but yeah, Martin Perez stepped up. He went crazy. Pitched a gem. He continues to surprise you, continues to amaze. He did his thing. Phenomenal job by the veteran Martin Perez. J.R. Rich was brought up for the final game of the series. He was okay. I think he did 4 innings. I think he went 4 innings, a few walks, a couple of runs given up. But listen, Braves got the W still. That's all that matters. Now they added some pitching depth, which is what we needed. So these are the moves that the Braves made Friday night. The Braves acquired Bailey Falter, the right-handed pitcher, from the Kansas City Royals, along with Lane Thomas, the outfielder. Slashing line of 263, 374, 30 versus left-handed pitching. Remember, we mentioned that the Braves will probably need to upgrade a right-handed bat. Lane Thomas is just that. He rakes left-handed pitching for the most part. The Braves gave up minor league pitcher Carter Holton and Lucas Braun to Kansas City in order to get Lane Thomas and Bailey Falter. That was on Friday. Then I believe it was last night, the Braves acquired Tyler Mahle, right-handed pitcher from the San Francisco Giants. They gave up reliever Anthony Molina in order to get Mahle. Mahle has struggled this season. His last start, I believe he struck out 12, which was a good sight to see. But Anthopoulos tends to do that. He tends to see guys that he tends to go after guys that have been struggling, that he thinks have potential. He thinks that the coaching staff is able to turn it around for them. They're able to make those adjustments, and then they just take off. He's kind of a magician when it comes to that. And, for the most part, he's been successful with moves like that. So we'll see how Tyler Mahle is able to perform for the Atlanta Braves. Earlier today, they got left-handed reliever Brent Suter from the Los Angeles Angels. He's definitely going to be a lefty option there coming out the bullpen now for the Braves. Braves had to give up infielder Nacho Alvarez Jr. to the Los Angeles Angels and able to get him in order, to be able to get him. And I think that was no. That was not the final move. The Braves did end up trading Joey Bart out to the Chicago White Sox, and they in return, the Braves received the right-hander Duncan Davitt. He was actually DFA'd earlier by the White Sox, so the White Sox able to get something for him. Again, they got Joey Bart. That means that Sean Murphy should be joining the ball club soon. Remember, the Braves are off today, so I'm assuming Sean Murphy will be back tomorrow if the Braves are willing to part ways with Joey Bart. Because I imagine Sean Murphy was going to come back. Joey Bart was going to have to be moved regardless. So the Braves are able to get another arm there for Joey Bart. And then they had to send off fan favorite Eli White, Speedway Classic MVP. Had a lot of great moments with the Braves. Hopefully he'll be back in some way. But Eli White has been traded to the Boston Red Sox for right-hander Tyler Uberstein, who's been solid in AAA, 2.81 ERA. and 32 innings of long relief for the Red Sox. But yeah, we had to part ways with Eli White. But again, that move that Anthopoulos made to bring in Lane Thomas pretty much meant that Eli White was not going to get as much playing time. Lane Thomas was going to have the upper hand when it comes to, playing out there in the outfield over Eli White. He's kind of like Eli White. He can hit way more. I'm not going to say a bit more. He has a higher ceiling when it comes to hitting. Decent speed, nice arm, nice range, good glove as well. So, yeah, Eli White was going to be right in the bench for the most part. So, they had to pull the trigger with that move. And, part ways with Eli White. But, again, hopefully he's able to come back in some shape or form, some way, somehow. Because, again, Eli White was a fan favorite. But those are the moves that the Braves made. They needed a righty bat that can match some lefties. They got that in Lane Thomas, hopefully. Hopefully they got that in Lane Thomas. You got Bailey Falter, who's I think he's been in the AAA for the most part this year. He has potential, though. He's an option there that he's going to be able to eat up innings. They got Tyler Mahle. That's a starter right there. You can plug him in there. He's definitely probably going to be getting starts over Grant Holmes now. Grant Holmes should be moved to the bullpen, coming out in long relief most likely. But again, that's another guy there. Brent Suter, like I said, I think the only solid lefty option that we've had is Dylan Dodd. So that'll bring in Brent Suter now as another lefty option out there in the bullpen. So that is good to see by Anthopoulos. So he got, again, that righty bat that the Braves needed out in the outfield to match lefties. We got the potential starter, which is Tyler Mahle. Even Bailey Falter might be out in the bullpen whenever they do bring him up, or get make a few spot starts here and there. And then Anthopoulos might probably DFA him, depending on how that goes. We got Brent Suter. He's going to be an option out there in the bullpen. And then the other two guys, I don't think they're going to be, except for Duncan Davitt. He'll probably make some appearances here and there. Tyler Uberstein, not sure if he'll be brought up this year. But, again, I got to be honest. I'm going to say, did the team get better? They did. They got better. They got a little bit better. Did you check the boxes that you needed to check off? Yes, you did. You did check off the boxes. The box has been checked off a little bit better. Absolutely. Absolutely. You could have gone out there and made some more aggressive moves out there. But it's just not the way that Anthopoulos rolls. He's a little bit more calculated when it comes to trades. So yeah, I gotta give him maybe a B minus. B minus. It's not the worst deadline that I've seen. Again, we addressed some of the needs that we needed. Some of the needs that we had, excuse me. We addressed some of the needs that we had, but could you have gotten better quality? Most likely. I believe you could have, but especially on the pitching side. But again, this is how Anthopoulos rolls. He thinks that, these guys are going to be able to turn it around, having a change of scenery, having a different coaching staff, having different guys around them. And obviously they will have that, an injection of energy. You are in the playoff race. You are bound to make a deep championship run, hopefully, or at least a deep playoff push. So these guys should be motivated. These guys should be motivated, when they join the ball club. And we'll see. We'll see how everything pans out. But I do got to say, I got to give them B minus for this trade deadline. Again, boxes were checked, but I think you could have gotten better quality at the end of the day if you were a little bit more aggressive. But it is what it is. That's how Anthopoulos rolls. He's calculated, and he thinks that, these guys have potential to turn it around, joining a a contending ball club. Hopefully that motivates them. Hopefully that, the coaching staff is able to help them make changes to improve their play. And, hopefully they click in the clubhouse and sky's the limit from here on out. But the team has improved a bit more when it comes to, on paper, at least. I think they've improved. But again, he could have done some more. So B- is my final score for Anthopoulos and the Braves this trade deadline. Now let's take a look at the other moves that were made across the league. Of course, it was that blockbuster trade. I just messed up all my papers here. I had it in order, and now I just completely messed everything up. Hopefully, it's still in chronological order. But these are the other moves that went down. Before we get into those moves, though, let me just remind you guys to use code CHOPSY20 to save $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek. The trade deadline has passed, but the deadline for this code has not passed. This code is still active. It's still able to be used for your pleasure. Use code CHOPSY20 to save $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek. I'm looking at my phone here, make sure no other moves have been made. Yeah, no other moves here. Here we go. This was another one here. Cardinals, they get Caleb Ferguson. The Reds are moving left-hander, pitching Caleb Ferguson for $250K in international bonus space. So that was another move there that might have been at the end of the buzzer. Anyways, the other moves that were made Friday night, I think it was, or maybe it was Saturday night. I don't even remember at this point. Tarek Skubal goes to the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Detroit Tigers. They acquired right-handed prospects River Ryan, Brady Smith, and outfield prospect Zaire Hope. That was the blockbuster trade of the deadline. And I'm just confused, bro. This one confused me because when I saw that, I'm like, you're telling me that no other contender was able to give something like that up? You're going to tell me none of the other contenders, because what? They were about, officially, there were about 6 sellers. 6 guaranteed sellers. A couple, 2 or a couple or maybe 3 or 4 emerged after that. But you're going to tell me none of the other teams, 24, 22 teams, could not send something like this over to the Detroit Tigers? It sounds funny to me, bro. I don't know. Even though it's a rental. I mean, I understand maybe out of those 22, 24 teams, maybe half of the teams didn't want to do that for a rental. But I'm like, bro, at the end of the day, you're playing to try and win a championship. And this is the best player, the best pitcher available that you knew he was available. And you're telling me that you couldn't send over a package just like that or even better? That sounds funny to me, bro. That sounds funny to me. Some funny business going on. You can't even get mad at the Dodgers, bro. People keep saying they're messing up the sport. How are they messing up the sport, bro? They're trying to win. They're making moves. They got the prospects. They're sending them over. They're sending them over, bro, and they're getting the best pitcher available. Your team, I don't know why your team didn't do that. Why my team didn't do that? I don't know. I get he's a rental, but if you're trying to win it and that's the best pitcher available, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Dodgers are not waiting. They pull the trigger. They make that move. Next, Chicago White Sox. They made some good moves. They get lefty. Righty Luis Castillo from the Seattle Mariners. Mariners get Serente Dominguez, Nolan Jones, and Boston Smith catching prospect in return. Then Toronto Blue Jays. They received Jameson Taillon, who was DFA'd last week, Monday. And the Chicago Cubs, they get some cash considerations and a player to be named later. Tampa Bay, nice pickup there from them. They get righty starter Freddie Peralta from the New York Mets. The Mets receive prospects Aiden Smith, Emilian Petre, I believe I wrote. I don't even know what I wrote. And Gary Gill Hill. don't know who that is, but that's who they got. Yankees, Luis Garcia Jr., the Washington Nationals, they get 4 righties. Giovanni Cruz and Jake Bird, and prospects Jack Kozart and Ben Grable heading over to the Washington Nationals. Nice pickup there by the Yankees. Nice pickup by the Rays. Obviously, a good pickup by the Dodgers with Skubal, and then a good pickup by the White Sox. All those moves I like so far. Chicago Cubs, they get Kevin Gausman. Nice pickup from them. The Blue Jays, they get middle infield prospect Ty Saldesin and outfield prospect Brett Bateman. Chicago White Sox, another good move for them. They get reliever Huascar Brazovan from the New York Mets. Mets get minor league pitcher Gabe Davis and Zach Franklin. Toronto Blue Jays, they get rid of Kevin Gausman, but they're able to get a nice, younger, controllable arm and Jose Soriano from the LA Angels. They end up trading top shortstop prospect Arjun Nimala and minor league outfielder Eddie Micheletti and right-handed pitcher Angel Rivero. So that's a good pickup there by the Blue Jays. Probably thinking ahead to next year, more than likely, or a couple years from now, getting a younger arm as you give up Kevin Gausman. Philadelphia Phillies, they trade with their friends in the New York Mets. They get Brooks Raley. They end up trading away prospects Luke Gabrish, John Spikerman. Who else we got? The Dodgers get Brent Rorvet back. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Mets get Chase McDermott. Big move by the Phillies here. Luis Arias, Caleb Killian are coming over from the San Francisco Giants. And with that move, Bryce Harper is going to be out in the outfield, back to the outfield. I think it's been 4 years since he's played out there in the outfield. But nice pickup there for the Phillies. Luis Arias, always a pest when it comes to the bat. The defense is going to be questionable, I got to say. Phillies defense is going to be questionable. I think they got Alec Bohm. It's going to be heading to first. Arias might be second. Bryson Stott maybe at third. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But like I said, Harper will be heading over to the outfield to make way for Luis Arias. What else we got? Cleveland Guardians. Joe Adele has been traded to the Guardians. The Angels get prospect catcher Jacob Kozart heading their way. Seattle Mariners acquired Taylor Ward from the Baltimore Orioles. Chicago White Sox, another good move for them. Brenton Doyle is acquired from the Colorado Rockies. The Toronto Blue Jays acquire infielder Josh Smith. Rangers get left-handed pitcher Adam Mako. Tampa Bay, good move by the Tampa Bay Rays. Liam Hicks is heading over from the Miami Marlins for former first-round pick Braden Taylor. San Diego Padres acquire Robbie Ray. They send over a few prospects. Prospect pitcher Miguel Mendez and Jomel Hernandez over to the San Francisco Giants. That was a good move for the San Diego Padres, and they made another buzzer beater. We're going to talk about that shortly. Milwaukee Brewers acquired Dustin May, Jojo Romero. Great pickup for them. We're almost done here, guys. Boston Red Sox. This was another blockbuster move. They acquire Adley Rutschman and Jake Rogers, a catching tandem coming over. They give up Carlos Narvaez, prospects Anthony Ianson, Andy Azokar, and Kyson Witherspoon. All top prospects in the organization heading over to the Baltimore Orioles. Orioles fans may be sad, but I think they're getting some good prospects heading their way. They might have won this trade if you think about it, because they still got Samuel Basallo out there who can catch. So it made Adley Rutschman probably expendable, honestly. So, I mean, we'll see what happens as time will tell who wins this trade. Pittsburgh Pirates acquiring Luke Weaver. The Mets will cover $2 million of his salary for this year and $6 million for next season. The Mets getting shortstop prospect Sammy Stratura. Kansas City acquiring Nolan Hoffman. He is acquired from Philly. Philly is getting minor league pitcher Manuel Colon and some cash considerations. Chicago Cubs, again, pulling the trigger. They're going all in. They acquired Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor from the New York Mets. The Mets acquiring infield prospect Jefferson Rojas. Houston Astros acquired Dalton Varsho. And Toronto will be paying a portion of his salary. And the Houston Astros will be getting Spencer Arrighetti. So the Blue Jays getting some pitching. Houston improving their offense when it comes to that trade. Chicago Cubs acquiring left-handed pitcher Braxton Garrett over from the Miami Marlins. And the Cubs also acquired Ryan Zephyr, the righty, from the LA Angels. They sent over catcher Moises Ballesteros and right-handed pitcher Mason McGuire over to the Angels. Next, New York Yankees, almost done, guys. They acquired Heliot Ramos from the San Francisco Giants. Good pickup there. Boston, they send Marcelo Meyer out to San Francisco. They acquire Eric Miller. Tampa Bay, they get Tyler Wells, a righty. They send over prospect Michael Torret to the O's. My handwriting was getting crazy here towards the end. The Diamondbacks acquired Lars Nootbaar from the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cleveland Guardians acquired Nathaniel Lowe from the Cincinnati Reds. Pittsburgh picking up Kirby Yates from the Angels. And then this came in as a buzzer beater. This was a great pickup. I was hoping the Braves were able to pick him up. San Diego Padres acquired Casey Mize and also infielder Gage Workman. They sent over to the Tigers left-handed prospect Cash Mayfield and left-hander Jackson Wolf. That was it for all the moves. Winners in the trade for the winners during the trade deadline, in my opinion. Let's go back. Let's get the sheet. Dodgers are the Dodgers. Yes, they won that one. I mean, not that they won that one because we don't know how those prospects are going to pan out, but they did a great job. They got the best player available. He did a great job. Chicago White Sox, love the moves they made. With Luis Castillo getting some pitching. Who else they got? They got Huascar Brazoban, who's been having a career year with the New York Mets. They improved their bullpen there. I can't even talk. What other moves they made? I think that was it, but I like the moves that they made. The Yankees made some pretty good moves. Luis Garcia Jr. coming over from the Washington Nationals and Elliot Ramos. That improves their offense tremendously. Who else? I like the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay Rays got Freddie Peralta. They got who else was it? They got Tyler Wells. Who else they got? I feel like they made another move. Oh, Liam Hicks. Liam Hicks, who's been having a great year, coming over from Miami. That was a good pickup for them. San Diego, of course, like I said, with Casey Mize coming in at the end with the buzzer beater and Robbie Ray improving their pitching staff, along with Michael King. That's going to be pretty solid right there. That's going to be pretty sick. They're going to try and make a run there towards the end, the second half. So we'll see how that goes. Houston, I like that move they made, getting Dalton Varsho. That helps their offense out as well. Chicago Cubs made a flurry of moves. They went all in. Kevin Gausman, that was a good move. Clay Holmes, Tyrone Taylor. I think they're going to fit in well there with the Chicago Cubs. So those were good moves as well. Who else? I think those were like my top teams that did good as buyer. Oh, and the Phillies. Luis Arias, he's a pest, like I said. That's a good pickup. And they got Brooks Raley as well. I'm not too concerned with the Phillies. Not too concerned with the moves they made. But decent moves. Those were decent moves. Who else we got? I'll stop saying. White Sox. Here's the other move they made. Brenton Doyle coming over from the Colorado Rockies. That's another move. Who else we got here? I think those Milwaukee. Milwaukee. Dustin May, Jojo Romero. That was good. Very good moves there by them. Pittsburgh is trying. They're trying to do a little something. Luke Weaver coming over. Um, they're trying. They're trying to make an effort. Hopefully they can get in. Hopefully they can get in because they actually are trying to do a little something there. Um, who else do we have here? I think that was it, guys. I think that was it. But those are my top winners, I would say. Obviously, the Dodgers, the Cubs, you got to throw them in there. White Sox, throw the White Sox in there. The Yankees, put them in there. And honestly, the Mets, they were sellers. They're getting a lot of prospects back. The Mets are getting a lot of prospects back with all these moves that they made. So, again, maybe in a couple years, maybe it'll be time. Who knows? The Mets, every year is a year, right? Every year is a year. And then you got a year. Every year, something goes wrong. It's like they always find a new way to mess things up. And I'm excited to look forward to next season, see how they end up doing for next season. But again, every year they find a new way to mess things up. It's actually impressive. It's very impressive. Let me take this thing off my charger here. Let me get a sip, actually. Shout out to Polar, keeping me hydrated here. But yeah, those were the moves. Again, I still think the Braves could have done better. I give them a B minus. But the team is solid. We got an 8-game lead over the Phillies right now. You're gonna get some reinforcements coming in. You got Sean Murphy coming back. Hopefully, he's able to stay healthy. You got Lane Thomas coming over, Brent Suter coming over, Tyler Mahle. Those guys should be able to make an impact from here on out. Hopefully, these guys keep hitting. Matt Olson, Michael Harris, Ozzie, Drake Baldwin. Hopefully, they keep carrying that offense. Hopefully, Austin Riley is able to fall in line and do his thing. Ha-Seong Kim, I thought he was maybe going to get traded or something, or, DFA'd or something. I don't know. He's going to be brought up, I guess. I don't know who's going to be the odd man out. Probably Jorge Mateo, maybe. Even though I like Jorge for his speed, if you need him late in game, he's able to swipe a bag and get into scoring position and, bring in that time, score that tying run maybe, or that winning run. So I do like him there, but, I don't think anyone's willing to take Ha-Seong Kim right now, the way he's been performing and with that 1-year deal that he's on. I don't think anybody wanted him. Maybe Anthopoulos did try, but it didn't happen. So, but again, B minus for the Braves. I think the Cubs were super aggressive, which was good for them. The Cubs were super aggressive. The Padres, super aggressive. They did their thing. White Sox are really good. The Tampa Bay Rays, really good as well. Yankees got a couple good players there. So those teams that I just mentioned, I think they did pretty good. Pittsburgh Pirates, they got Kirby Yates as well. That's what I was trying to think of earlier when I said Luke Weaver. So they're improving their bullpen there. But yeah, so they got themselves like 3 closers in the last couple days. Remember, they got from the Yankees. I said it in our last episode, Camilo Doval. So they got themselves 3 guys that have closed games out before. So they're trying to bolster that end of that the end of that bullpen. So they're trying. Hopefully they're able to get in. The Guardians made a few moves also. Not bad moves for them. Daniel Lowe and Joe Adell. So yeah, it was an interesting trade deadline. We had a lot of moves. I like the way the moves went down, especially towards the end, the last day. Today, like, my phone just kept getting notifications. I'm like hyped to see like who was gonna go where, man. So I mean, that was cool to see. But yeah, the Braves are off today. They have a series starting with the Miami Marlins. That's going to be a 3-game set starting tomorrow. And then they go on the road coming up here to the Bronx to face the New York Yankees for 3. Then they go back home for 3 against the Mets. That might be the last series of the year against the Mets. It is, and it's funny enough. I think the Mets should be winning the series right now. They might win the series. Honestly, it's just crazy because the year that they're terribly bad, they're probably gonna end up finally winning a series against us, which doesn't mean anything because you guys are bad. Then the Braves get a day off there on that Thursday, the 13th. They have another 3-game homestand there against the Arizona Diamondbacks. They go on the road for minute 3 for Minnesota. They got a makeup game with the Chicago White Sox, and then 3 with the Milwaukee Brewers. That's going to be a tough stretch there. And look at this. Justin Jorge Mateo has been DFA'd to open a roster spot for Ha-Seong Kim. Jorge Mateo is going to be picked up, and he's going to get snagged, and a playoff contender is going to grab him. I highly doubt he's going to clear waivers, man. And I was just saying, you need to have a guy like that for his speed, because it's crucial, especially in a playoff game. But hey, who am I? I know it's a tough call. It's with Ha-Seong Kim because of the money he's making, but when he was up, he wasn't performing, man. He wasn't performing at all. But hopefully Mateo's able to clear waivers somehow, and we're able to retain him. But yeah, I was saying though, we're gonna have a tough stretch right there. When we face the Brewers on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, we have a day off, and then we got 3 against the Dodgers at home. Then we have 3 against the Colorado Rockies at home. And we got that makeup game to end the month against the San Francisco Giants at home. Remember, the giveaway is live. It's on already. Colorado Rockies, they are going to be facing the Braves when we do the ticket giveaway. And the giveaway is for August 30th, that 1:35 p.m. game against the Colorado Rockies. Make sure to join the giveaway on the social media platforms. It's at the Chop Seat Pod on Instagram and at the Chop Seat on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm not going to mention Twitter because I don't really use Twitter like that. I got no love on Twitter, so don't worry about Twitter. But the instructions are on the post on all those social media pages. The winner will be announced on the Friday, August 14th episode. So you got to make sure that you're tuned into the show to listen to who is the winner for the giveaway. The contest entries are going to be only up to the 13th, Thursday. Should be Thursday, right? Thursday the 13th, yes. 11:59 p.m. Eastern is the cutoff time for any entries. And then on the 14th, the winner will be announced on this very show. Make sure to go to the social media pages, follow the pages, got that video, repost it, add it to your story, comment, tag 3 friends in the comments. That's going to be counted as an entry. And then as a bonus entry, let us know who your favorite Brave is and why. And then, like I said, we will announce the winner here on the show. You're going to have 24 hours to contact me once I announce a winner. If you don't contact me in those 24 hours, we're going to move on to another random selection and pick a new winner. That's it. And depending on how many entries we got, we may have another pair of tickets for that very same game. Right now, it's looking slow, though. Nobody's doing it. So I might have to catch a flight and go to the game myself. That's how it's going to end up being. But that is all I got, guys. Thank you guys for listening to the Chop Seat podcast, a rant. We're 39 minutes in. If you made it all these 39 minutes, congratulations. You have made me happy. Very happy. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to catch up with the Marlins. Actually, no. I'll be back on the 11th. So when I get back, we'll look at how the Braves do against the Marlins and the New York Yankees. And then by the time I get back, we're going to talk about that series. That's going to be going down midway through against the New York Mets. So again, the Chop Seat will be back on the 11th. And then on the 14th, we'll announce that winner of the giveaway. That's all we have, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you next time on the Chop Seat.